I'm Shelly. In this session, all you'll need is a piece of paper and a pen or a device that you prefer to take personal notes on. This workshop gives you two distinct methods on how to have a challenging conversation made very easy. Now, the magic words that you can use in most scenarios is noticed and wondering. I noticed that you seem stressed and I'm wondering if I can help. I noticed that you didn't meet your deadline and I'm wondering what is keeping you stuck. These are all examples of noticed and wondering that help bring someone into your area of trust. Now get into pairs because you're about to do a scenario where Bill comes to work and he seems distracted and just really isn't himself. And he's going through a separation but actually hasn't told anyone. So one of you is going to ask the noticed and wondering questions and the other one is going to pretend being Bill and answer those questions. Your 45 seconds starts now. Now, the person who was practicing being Bill in that scenario, how supported did you feel when someone was asking you noticed and wondering questions? How did it feel when you were able to share what was going on for you after it was breached with noticed and wondering? Is there someone in your work environment or even in your outside work environment where you have actually noticed a bit of a change? And practice in your head now, how can you ask noticed and wondering questions in order to create a better bond there and find out what's actually going on to help support them? Here's another method that you can use to stand your ground when things are happening that make you feel uncomfortable. I call them the 3 stand your ground points. And this is how each of the 3 statements begin. The first one is are you? Are you bullying me? Are you trying to upset me? Are you making fun of me? Are you getting a rise out of me? Point 2 starts with you are, and if it continues, I will. You are upsetting me, and if it continues, I'm going to go to the boss. You are making jokes at my expense, and if it continues, I'm going to go and see the supervisor. So your third point is you are something, and now I'm going to do this. So the methods are, for example, you are trying to upset me. I've had enough and I'm going to go see the boss. You are breaking code of conduct and I'm now going to see the supervisor. Here's our holus bolus example. Someone is abrupt with you at work. So your first question to them is, are you meaning to be abrupt with me? The second point, if it does continue from that point, is you are being abrupt with me, and if it continues, I guess I'm going to have to see the boss. And the third point, if it continues after that, is you continue to be abrupt with me, so I'm now going to see the boss about code of conduct. Another example is a colleague comes to work and they rarely greet you of a morning. So you can ask, I've noticed of a morning that you greet other people but not necessarily me, and I'm wondering if you're ignoring me. And then if that continues, your point number 2 is, you do seem to be ignoring me, and if that continues, I'd have to go and see the boss about code of conduct. It gives them an out. But if it continues after that, then the third thing you actually do, but you don't just leave it, you actually do this, is step 3 is, well, you do seem to be ignoring me, which is frustrating, so I'm going to have to go see the boss about code of conduct. Now get yourself into pairs and thinking of examples of situations you've had in the past using no names. Discuss with the colleague about the scenario and the situation and use the 3 stand your ground steps and practice with the colleague, and that colleague can actually give you examples of what you could do in order to approach it using these 3 steps. Your 90 seconds starts now. this time to do the talking. Outline the personal situation with no names and identify, using the steps, how you can address the situation. Your 90 seconds starts now. Now, in case you'd like to keep a record of the steps, remember noticed and wondering, as well as these steps, I'll leave these here for the next 30 seconds, but that is the end of our workshop.